Welcome back, dear students. We were doing the Indian Councils Act and we are done with the 1861 Act. So today we are taking up the 1892 Indian Councils Act of 1892 and 1909. So to begin with the first act, 1892. The first feature of this 1892 Indian Councils Act was that it increased the number of additional or non-official members in the central and the provincial legislative councils. Please note that we had seen in the Councils Act of 1861 that the Viceroy may now nominate some Indians as non-official members to his council, right? So they were nominated by the provincial legislative councils. So now coming to the 1892 Act, the number of this non-official or additional members were now increased, and they were increased both in the central and the provincial legislative councils. See, what is central and provincial legislative council? Legislative council, as you know, is a law-making body. And what is central and provincial legislative council? Central legislative council is under the Viceroy and they belong to the center. See, it is just like the parliament and the state assemblies of today, right? So central belongs to the or comes under the Viceroy, and provincial legislative councils are exclusively for each and every province. You know that under the British government we had a lot of provinces like your Bengal province, Madras province, right? So they had their own separate legislative councils or law-making bodies. Now, the number of additional or non-official members in both these councils were increased, right? But remember that even while the non-official members, the number was increased, there was the majority of official members in them, right? So official members were still in majority. Now, the second feature of the 1892 Act is that it increased the functions of legislative councils and gave them the power of discussing the budget and addressing questions to the executive. So, legislative councils were given a little more powers, especially the power to discuss the budget and address questions to the executive. See, not here that they are given the power only to discuss the budget. They cannot make any, substantive or very substantial changes to the budget, and they could now address questions to the executive. Even when we say that they could now address questions to the executive was not really responsible, right? They could answer, the legislative council could address the questions, but it was up to the executive to act on it or not. Now, the third feature of the Act 1892 Act is that it provided for the nomination of some non-official members. So non-official members may now be nominated. Okay, number one, from the Central Legislative Assembly by the Viceroy. So Viceroy is always the in control of the Central Legislative Central Legislative Council. You compare it with the central government of today, headed by the Prime Minister. So, Central Legislative Council is like our Parliament and Viceroy is like our Prime Minister. So, he could nominate non-official members on the recommendation of Provincial Legislative Councils and Bengal Chamber of Commerce. Bengal Chamber of Commerce is a separate independent commercial body, and Provincial Legislative Councils are like our state legislative assemblies of today, right? So the Central Legislative, so it provided for the nomination of some non-official members of the Central Legislative Council by the Viceroy on the recommendation of two categories of people. One, the Provincial Legislative Council, and two, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce. And it also provided for the nomination of some non-official members of the provincial legislative councils, right? A few members of the provincial legislative councils may now be nominated as non-official member by The governors on the recommendation of district boards, municipalities, universities, trade associations, zamindars and chambers. So when it comes to the members of provincial legislative councils, equated with the state assembly of today, the governor on the recommendation of the so and so bodies, the district board, universities, trade associations, zamindars, etc., may nominate members. Okay. So this is about the 1892 Indian Councils Act.